I am so excited to share this book with you. It is a sketchbook that I made by binding together all of my Inktober sketches from this year. I'm going to show you how I made this bound book, and then I'm going to share the children's book inside Lulu and Pal Save the Circus. Let's get started. So for this project, I chose this Bahang Academy watercolor paper. It's 300 GSM, cold pressed. Oh no, I'm sorry, this was hot pressed paper. Hot pressed paper because I knew I was going to use an ink glass dip pen. So I wanted slightly smoother paper. And then one of the first challenges when it came to binding the book was how I was going to put the words on. I knew that I didn't want to print them, hand print them, because it was just a lot. So what I wound up doing was getting them printed at the printers on this sort of stock paper, also off-white. I really didn't quite know what I was doing here. I think the paper is a little flimsy, especially compared to this cardstock, which is heavy, and that presented some challenges later on. I also think I chose a nice font, but a thin one, so it is a little thin to read. And I will also confess, I just did the read through, and there are about 800 typos in this book as well, even though I swear to you, I proofread it 17 times. So what I'm doing here is just making sure all the pages are in the correct order and getting them stacked and laid so that they are all flat against the binding. Now, I think the two different kinds of paper is challenging me a little bit here, especially because of this ink right here on the side. Not ink, I'm sorry, glue. The glue around the edges from where the paper was stuck to the paper block. I think maybe that glue stopped me from stacking properly all of the pages right here, and those thin pages didn't necessarily fall in all the way to the end when I start the binding here. So you'll see later I have to glue a couple of the pages together because they're very loose. They're coming out of the back. And I really think that if I had taken some of the um, adhesive off of the edge, it might have helped. So here I am putting the pages into my book press. I want to flatten them down and get them really, really close together before I start the gluing layer. Now, I am not going to give you full instructions in this video. I'm going to show you exactly what I did, but I have another bookbinding video where I talk about all the choices that I'm making and different alternatives if you don't have a book press. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like when I use it myself. So here's my book press on my kitchen counter, and I am getting that paper as flat and tight together as I possibly can before I start gluing in the binding. I'm actually gonna use a little muscle right here. Make sure it's really good and tight. And then I start with the spine and use PVA glue and start gluing very, very thin layers on the spine. So I want them at literally as thin as I can possibly get them and them still being glue. And I'm not thinning out the glue at all. I just use a brush to get a very, very thin layer of glue here. I'm going to do the first layer in real time so you can see how long it takes me to brush on the glue. And you can see how thin the application is. You can barely see it. But I get a pretty good layer in. Now, I will warn you, one thing that will happen if you have a book press, or even if you don't have a book press and you're using clamps like I show you in the other video, you want to watch where you're gluing because this happened. I knew it was happening. I expected it. I glued the book to the book press. So I had to be very, very careful when I removed those top and bottom pages because I wanted to make sure I got them well covered with glue. That meant the glue seeped over onto the metal of the book press a little bit. So just be aware of that. And this is still the first layer. I am just layering it in glue, and you can see these chunky bits. And those chunky bits are from the block adhesive, from having the watercolor paper in the block. I think they got in my way. I think they stopped me from having a really good adhesive here. And in retrospect, if I were doing this again, I would go back and use a little bit of sandpaper to take all of this off and make sure I had a nice smooth edge for when you tamp down the pages to get a really good solid flush set of pages on that side. So that's the first layer of glue. And now I'm going to let it dry for about 10 minutes. And then I will do that about yeah, it was about 8 more times. So now after the glue is dry to the touch, I'm going to start the second layer. So I repeat this process 8 times where I put in a layer of glue and dry it. And I'm just going to kick this into high speed for all of the remaining gluing because for whatever reason I filmed it all. Okay, so now I'm measuring the spine and I am starting to make another mistake. In retrospect, I wish I had made the spine wider. Instead of making this spine backing piece that we're about to make the exact size of the paper for the spine, I wish I had made it the size of the paper plus the width of the cover boards that we use because it really needs, the book is very tight and it needs a little bit more room. So I will remember that for the next time I create a book. Now, what I have here is some comic book backing board. I'm sorry, that's not. This is actually backing board for bookbinding specifically. And uh, I'm going to cut a piece to fit the size of the spine. I decided to not use this for the front and back covers because it wasn't the same size as the paper, and I would have had to cut every single illustration to use this backing board for the cover. So what I wound up doing was just using the cardboard from the paper block that the paper came in. And it was thicker than this. It wasn't bad, but really, I wish I hadn't been lazy there at all. I wish I had just used a bigger piece of something hard and just found another item to use. I was trying not to buy something new and I couldn't find anything around the house, so I just went with what made do. So here I am. I'm not even sure if I can cut this in my paper cutter, but it does wind up cutting. I was very nervous because it's really, really thick board and this is the thickest thing I've cut in my paper cutter, but it winds up going okay. So now I have some of this blue fake leather and I only have one piece. This is all I have. So I've decided that this is going to be a great piece to bind this book. It's the perfect size. And there's the center board that we just cut, and then also the bottom pieces of cardboard from the 2 watercolor paper packs that I use. So now I am figuring out how I'm going to fold it and glue it and whether or not I'm going to fold or cut or how much overlap I'm going to have. And I decide to limit my overlap to just a little bit, just enough basically to go over the book without too much extra. So I'm going to cut the leather a little here and then I'm going to trim it up more specifically so there isn't a whole lot hanging over when I fold it together. Here you can see me try to figure out how thick it's going to be when I fold the leather over on itself to make a nice corner and figure out if I'm going to cut any of that leather off when I make that fold or just fold it on itself. So I want to reinforce the binding here. So I take a piece of that leather, that faux leather, and cut it to equal the binding and the space in between over to the sides of the book, because I want that extra layer in there. I'm just adjusting the size, being fussy for no reason, because I'm not that precise. Because then I think I cut it too short. But there we go. And now I'm going to glue that down. Again, with the PVA glue, I'm just using an illustration that is scrap paper now. Put some PVA glue here on the wood board to just hold that down. And what I found was that this board soaked up that PVA glue quite a lot. It was really, really thirsty. So I secure the faux leather in the spine, and then I use a bone folder to just make sure that the crease in between stays the same and I haven't closed that gap that was right there. Okay, so that's all dry and we can see the spine bends and looks pretty good. Um, and it is ready to go down. Now here I am trying to figure out how I'm going to fold those corners again and whether or not I'm going to take any of the leather off or just glue it down. Eventually I decide this first layer, first side, the top and the bottom, I am just going to glue and clamp, and I will figure out the corners again a little bit later. I think I do wind up cutting a little bit because it's really thick there in the corner right now. Yeah, I'm figuring that I can cut diagonally there, but I'm going to do it after I glue this first layer down. Okay, so I glue the top, press it down, glue the bottom, press that down, come in on the sides. I did decide to clip a little bit off, you can see in the corner. And then I glue that down and clamp, and I glue the sides down and clamp, wipe off all that excess glue, and then set it to dry. Now the next thing I have to figure out is how to stick these pages together. Since I illustrated on one page and put the words on the other, I wound up with a blank set of pages every other page. So I found these glue points and I started to put them in between the two sets of pages. So I varied them. I went from, the bottom to the top and then back down again so that I wouldn't be increasing the thickness of the book with the adhesive all in the same space. So I varied that a little bit, and this wound up working well. Now you can see here, this is right around here is the first page that I find that the inside page seemed to be falling out a little bit. I mentioned earlier that I would need to stick it down a little bit more, and here is where I do that. I put some dots on the inside. These adhesive dots worked really well, by the way. I put some dots on the inside of a couple of these pages that looked like they hadn't fully adhered to the bottom. But I go ahead and go through this entire book, sticking these pages together, and I'm really happy with this as an alternative solution. It's not ideal, but it worked, and when I did the final flip through, read through of the book, as I turned the pages, both pages were coming with me as anticipated. And now I have some of this vinyl contact paper that I am going to use for the end pages of the book. And for this, you can use paper, but I really like the vinyl contact because it's self-sticking and it just makes it all a little easier. So I basically measure the book again. I should know all the pages are the same size, but I am then going to measure and cut double the same size of the book for those end pages. And of course I cut two for the front and for the back cover. So I'm going to start with the back, and I just decide where I'm going to position it. I'm sorry, this camera isn't exactly centered properly sometimes and also focused properly sometimes. But I start to peel back. I'm just starting on the paper side, and I peel back the contact paper to stick the book on and do it again on the other side as well. And then I just do a quick flip through and the book is complete. Thanks for watching this bookbinding project. It makes me so happy to be able to bind my sketches together into a book and then put a sketchbook that I created literally inside and out on my bookshelf. It gives me great joy. I am so excited to share this story with you. Go ahead and click on this video now to get the world premiere of my book, Lulu and Pal Save the Circus.